Welcome to the third lesson in the Google Ads tutorial series. In this video, we're going to create our first ad group and look at how it fits inside our campaign. You can think of an ad group as a way to organize your ads and keywords. Each ad group includes one or more ads, along with the keywords that determine when your ads appear as people search on Google. We will also cover the different keyword match types and how they control when your ads are displayed. And we'll take a look at setting a budget for your campaign. If you haven't watched the earlier lessons on creating a Google Ads account and setting up your first campaign, you'll find links to these in the description below this video. Let's head to Google Ads. We're about to create our first ad group in our new campaign, and we're asked to enter some details. We need to enter the landing page we want to send people to on our website when they click our ad. And we're asked to describe why our product or service is unique. Google Ads will automatically describe our offer, but you can adjust this to reflect your unique selling points. Below this is an option to define multiple ad groups you would like to create in your campaign. You can try this, but I've found the results are mixed. So let's leave this. Now let's click Generate. This takes us to the next step where we create our first ad group. Based on the landing page and details we entered, Google's AI will provide some suggested keywords, and it will also provide headlines, descriptions, and other assets. It's worth trying this as it can come up with good ideas you can use in your campaign. However, I recommend editing the suggestions. We will do this in a moment, but before we do, you might be wondering, what are ad groups anyway? Well, ad groups are subfolders that are stored inside the campaign. Ad groups are used to organize and group the keywords we are going to be targeting with our search campaign. So what I want you to do is start thinking about the types of keywords that relate to your offering. Think about the types of things you expect people to be searching for on Google. Once you have an idea of the types of keywords you want to target, you can create different ad groups to divide your keywords into groups. Since this can be a bit tricky to get right before you've really researched your keywords, my tip here is that you can create a general ad group, and then once we've finished creating the campaign, we can jump back in and finish creating ad groups. So let's click Edit to adjust this ad group. At the top, we can adjust the name of the ad group. Let's rename this ad group Glossary. We're going to focus the keywords and ads in this ad group around glossary-related keywords. Now we need to adjust the keywords. Let's remove any keywords that don't include the term glossary. We can also add any other relevant keywords. You don't need to spend too long on this step because we're going to use the keyword planner after we've created our campaign. These keywords will be added as broad match by default. This means that Google Ads will try and achieve the most coverage for those terms as possible. So our ads will show on the keywords we've entered, along with any variations that Google feels relate to our keywords. This means as broad match keywords, my ads might show on Google Analytics Glossary, Google Analytics Terminology, GA4 Glossary PDF, Analytics Terminology, and a range of other related keywords. Now, this can be a good thing because it increases the visibility of our ads, but it can also be a bad thing. We might show for search terms that are not expected and don't relate as well to our ads or offering. Now let's take a moment to talk about the different keyword match types we can use with our search campaigns in Google Ads. As we've seen, when we add keywords, they're added as broad match by default. This match type provides the greatest coverage or reach for the keywords you are bidding on. As the name suggests, broad match is going to broadly match keywords based on the meaning and intent of what people are searching for on Google, not just the specific words they use. So if we were bidding on chocolate gifts, our ads could appear as people search for chocolate, chocolate gifts, Cadbury gift box, chocolate gift delivery, and chocolate shop Chicago. All of these search queries can broadly relate to the keyword chocolate gifts. So this is the default match type in Google Ads. The next match type is phrase match. This is where we put the keywords we're bidding on inside quote marks. This tells Google Ads that we want those words, or words with the same meaning, to be included in what someone is searching for. The words don't need to appear in the same order as long as the meaning is the same. For example, chocolate gifts in quotes can match chocolate gifts for Father's Day, chocolate hamper, and chocolate gifts. This match type will match keywords with the same meaning, and phrase match is more targeted than broad match. Then there is exact match. This is where we place our keyword inside square brackets. Exact match no longer means the wording has to be identical. Instead, it matches searches that have the same meaning or intent. So chocolate gifts in square brackets will match chocolate gifts, but not chocolate golf gifts. It matches the same meaning. When we use exact match, phrase match, and broad match keywords, it's important to understand that these will also match close variants. This means that Google Ads will automatically match singular and plural versions of our keywords, misspellings, and other close variations of keywords. For example, if we were bidding on the exact match keyword of chocolate gifts, then our ads would be displayed for people searching for chocolate gifts singular, and misspellings of chocolate gifts. So remember, close variants will apply to your exact match, phrase, and broad keywords. And close variants will include function words like to and for, and allow words to be reordered when the meaning stays the same. Continuing our example of chocolate gifts, this exact match keyword could also mean our ads are displayed to people searching chocolate for gifts and gifts chocolate. These are also considered close variants. This brings us to our final keyword match type, negative match. Adding negative keywords is an important part of optimizing the performance of your campaigns. It's especially important to add negative keywords if you use broad match keywords. A negative keyword prevents your ads from being displayed, which allows you to reduce the number of less relevant impressions. Here we can see we've added the negative keyword of ideas along with the broad match keyword of chocolate gifts. This means that people searching for chocolate gift ideas, ideas for chocolate gifts, and gift ideas won't see our ads. You will notice that our ads are still eligible to appear when someone searches for chocolate gift idea. If you don't want your ads to show for ideas singular and ideas plural, you will have to add both of these as negative keywords in Google Ads. This is because negative keywords don't work in the same way as broad match keywords. You need to be precise with negative keywords. When you're launching a new campaign and you don't want to spend your budget too quickly, I suggest using phrase or exact match keywords. And to really keep things controlled, you can begin with exact match and then adjust the match types after you've launched the campaign. Since I do want to have some slightly broader coverage, I'm going to change my keywords to phrase match by adding quote marks before and after each keyword. On the right, we can see an estimate for the number of clicks we might receive each week, the average cost per click, and the amount we'll need to spend. I find these estimates aren't always accurate, so use them as a general guide. You're likely to see different results once you've launched your campaign. Scrolling down, the next step is to create our first ad. The ad we're about to create is going to live inside the ad group, so this means we need to write an ad that closely relates to the keywords we've added to the ad group. We want to create an ad that is really going to engage with people as they're searching on Google. When we create our ad, we can enter multiple headlines and descriptions. Google Ads will then combine up to 3 headlines and 2 descriptions to show people as they're searching on Google. It combines these elements automatically. To create our ad, we start by entering the landing page we want to send people to on our website. This needs to closely relate to the keywords we added to the ad group. We previously entered the landing page so we can see it's pre-filled with the URL for my Google Analytics glossary. I'm going to leave the display path, but you can also experiment by adding keywords here. We can now see the headlines that have been automatically created for us. I recommend reviewing these to ensure they closely relate to your offer. You will probably find that you need to edit some of these. And you might even decide to rewrite some from scratch. Just remember that all of your headlines should closely relate to your offer and the keywords in your ad group. When you're writing the copy for your ads, you want to capture people's attention, be relevant, help them find the answers they're looking for, and lead them to your website. So take time to write your ad. Make it compelling. Next, you can review the descriptions that have been automatically written for you. And again, you might decide to adjust some of these. Below this, we can add different assets that can be displayed with our ads. We're going to cover assets after we've created our campaign. So let's leave these for now. And let's click Save. Now we click Next. We're now at a really important step, your budget. This is the #1 way to control your advertising spend in Google Ads. If you set your budget too high, you'll end up being charged a lot for your campaign. So it's important to get this right and enter an amount you're comfortable spending. We can see Google Ads provides a recommended budget for our campaign. This is based on the settings we've selected and the keywords we've added. You can use this suggestion, or you can set a custom budget. The budget is the average amount you want to spend each day. For example, setting a budget of $100 means that you will be spending up to $3,040 a month. I recommend starting with a small budget since you can increase this once your campaign is up and running. And my other tip is to set a budget that you're comfortable spending regardless of the results. This might sound strange, but as you start a new campaign, you'll need to spend some money to understand what works and what doesn't work. We're experimenting to then refine our campaign. For my campaign, I'm comfortable spending around $300 a month, so I'm going to enter $10 as the daily budget. And just to highlight, this is an average. Some days Google Ads will spend more than your budget amount, and other days it can spend less. Now that we've set our budget, let's click Next. We can now review the settings we've selected for our campaign. Since we've only selected a couple of keywords and we haven't configured assets, we can see some recommendations at the top. Let's go ahead and click Publish Campaign. We're not quite ready to launch our campaign yet, since we only have one ad group, a couple of keywords, one ad, and we haven't created assets. So what I want you to do is pause your campaign until you're ready to start spending the daily budget you entered. To do this, select Campaigns and then Campaigns. We can see the campaign listed. Then I want you to click the green circle and select Pause. This will mean we can finish working on our campaign, and then when we're ready to start spending our budget, we can come back and enable the campaign. What are you going to advertise with your new campaign? And how are you going to structure your ad groups? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments below. In the next video, we'll explore some of the key features of the Google Ads interface and walk through how to use the Keyword Planner to find ideas for your campaigns. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next lesson in the series. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.